Good morning, Ken Henderson. Thank you for joining me in the TD1 studio. You've come in as a follow-up to me having had a look at this little anthology of poems and stories in aid of UNICEF. And rather than me try to explain a bit about it, could you maybe give me some background as to how it came about and what it's for?
Yeah, that's fine. We started by inviting young people to participate in a concert in Kelso. That would be 4 years ago now. And in conjunction with the concert, an arts concert, we invited young people from Kelso High School to participate in a poetry competition. At our second concert in Kelso 2 years later, we invited the English department there to contribute short stories for a competition. And in view of these collected poems and short stories, we came up with the idea of producing a small booklet, an anthology of poetry and short stories. Rather different to what had been suggested of doing a cookery recipe book. We decided that perhaps it would be more interesting to produce the poetry and short stories. And then for the young musicians not to be outdone, as it were, we invited a number of the young musicians to contribute toward the CD.
Which is also here as well, which I've got the pair of them together.
It's
a nice little package. And I think you're right about the recipe books. I think there's a limit to how many of these compilation recipe books you can get you want in your house. But,
I think so.
But it's also nice, I believe, that when people are raising money and awareness of charities, that the people who donate get something in return, rather than just I'll sponsor you to do this and end of story. So
yes,
there's a lovely little booklet here and a CD. But you're suggesting that the writings here have been developed over a number of years.
That's right.
Rather than all just in the last few months.
That's right. And we collected them together with that in mind. Initially, that wasn't the idea. It was just to have the poetry competition and then the short story competition as two separate entities. But as I say, with the suggestion that we had a cookery book, we sort of took that suggestion and put together the poems and stories. Yeah. We launched the anthology and CD in Peebles in May of this year with the support of the community choir in chorus and also Priorsford primary school choir, right. Who supported us tremendously during this time, and they do feature on the CD.
Yeah, and the track that they have on here is Children of the World. I'll just play that just now.
We are children of the world. We are sisters all and brothers, sharing one home 'neath the sun. Apart from earth there is no other. May we live to see the day when the banner is unfurled, proclaiming justice, peace and joy to all the children of the world.
So that was Children of the World there, performed by Rod Ward, Priorsford Primary School, and a soloist, Lindsay Knox. Flute soloist is Madeline Chalmers, and the clarinet soloist, Sarah Eggleton. Mm-hmm. Very nice, thank you. Now, you were going to tell me some more about this project.
At the moment, UNICEF are running a campaign for Syria, and they've come up with the idea. I think that they would do a Sing for Syria project of getting people to sing for Syria, all sorts of choirs, church groups, and we've asked Kelso High School if they would ask a number of their musicians to sing for Syria in aid of UNICEF, and they will be singing at the Garden Centre in Kelso. That will be jointly there. They've got a little project on as well, so it will be a joint project between UNICEF and the schools project. They're very, very enthusiastic musicians, and we also have a group of young musicians in Hawick. We haven't arranged a day for them to perform yet, but that's in the arrangement at the moment.
So the Sing for Syria project, it's not a one-off that you're looking perhaps to do a number of events in various places?
Yes, we're hoping to sort of do, as you say, a number of events in various places. And we will be selling the Anthology CD at a coffee morning at the Manse for the Old Kirk in Kelso. And we still have a number of copies for sale.
Right.
We're asking the price of £8 per copy. If I may just come back to the People's Concert. The concert was introduced by Lord David Steele, and the Anthology was launched by Sue McGregor, who used to do Woman's Hour, but has more recently done a programme called The Reunion, and she is in fact a trustee of UNICEF and has been linked to UNICEF for many years. And it was a very successful concert. If I could just say that the whole idea of the song with Rod Ward came from a competition that was held in Galashiels in conjunction with Kathy Stewart, who is a local singer-songwriter, and Rod was asked to be one of the judges, and he found two young people, and in fact Morgan was one of the soloists that the song was written for, with him in mind, but unfortunately before we could record the song, Morgan emigrated to Canada, which was a shame. But that's the history, and Rod wrote the song effectively as our theme song for the Scottish Borders UNICEF Group.
Yeah, very good. Well, thank you very much for giving up your time to come in and explain that. And I would encourage people to get out and buy this book and CD, because it makes interesting reading and interesting listening.
And it's interesting that quite a number of the tunes on the CD were actually written by the young soloists, with the sort of idea of UNICEF and helping other young people in mind, which I think is quite a tremendous achievement by the young people. And we're extremely grateful to the young people for their time that they gave to recording and preparing for this CD and book. Would also like to express appreciation to other people who contributed to it. We invited Rob Hain, one of our local internationally acclaimed artists, to do the judging of the illustrations for the front and back cover, which were done by children from Priceford Primary School. Of course,
so you've got the opportunities for the those with literary skills, those with musical skills, and those with graphic art skills.
Indeed,
as well.
Yes,
so Is there a plan to try and generate more content for a volume 2?
We'll consider that in the future. This, I must admit, was probably because it's the first time we'd ever done it.
Of course, and give it some time to bed in and see how this is received. But perhaps something for a future generation of young people to
from producing this first copy. Yes. Yeah.
Well, thanks very much for your time. It's
Thank
been a
you very
pleasure-
much indeed.
Pleasure chatting.